Welcome to Sports Scope, the most influential sports talk show in the nation.
What is today, the 19th?
Stay tuned for updates and great sports content.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sports Scope. I'm your host, Robert Butler, on this 20th day of October, right in the middle of all the sports combustion, if you may, with really tight game there in Houston, Major League Baseball playoffs here. Another big game on tonight with the Phillies there. Plus, we got great college football and the NFL this weekend. We got Carlos, Mad New Yorker Chavez backstage. I'm going to ask him his thoughts on this Jim Harbaugh situation here and more. But first, let's go ahead and get our first and only break out of the way. We'll talk about the Jim Harbaugh thing. Of course, we'll recap last week and talk about this week's biggest games here on Sports Scope. Stand by, folks. Hello, Sports Scope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and Sports Scope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to sports, that is sports with an S, another S, scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you and enjoy the program. All righty then, Mac, we're live here, and I've got Carlos there. Hey, man, how you doing today?
Hey, yo, what's up? What's up? Happy Friday.
It's a nice hat you got there, camouflage. I can't hardly see it. It's camouflage, but it looks like a Yankee hat.
Got a lot of them. Got to wear many hats. You know what I'm saying? You're in New York, so
That's true. Man, you're going to make the Yankee hat more famous than a Yankee can.
no, not today.
There's an interesting story out of Michigan, man. Now they're saying there's an investigation going on with stealing signs, very Spygate, like with New England. I'm hearing people like Paul Feinbaum seems like it is, what do you call selective prosecution? And there's others are saying that maybe some of their foes have turned him in. Some of his competition, they've got this guy on lower level assistant on some kind of suspension or whatever while they do this investigation. What's your thoughts on all? Do you think this could push him into the NFL after this season, or do you think this will come to pass?
No, it's a SEC, man. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, bro. Like,
I've heard that for years, man.
right. So that's a mantra. You can put on a T-shirt if you want. Listen, this is, I think, just an opportunity for everybody to just kind of root against Michigan. Hope maybe that they could get a win, and I don't think it's a big deal. It's an investigation. You ever watch How to Catch a Smuggler?
No.
All right. Dang, man. Y'all need to get on that show. That show is funny. You're not guilty. You innocent until presumed guilty. Yeah, proven guilty. So, at the end of the day, this is just another like black mark on a dark blue shirt jersey, right? There's another grass stain on that dark blue and yellow jersey. So I don't think it's that big of a deal for Harbaugh as it is for college football,
Yeah.
Like, is this it's just like you're just starting to see that that's kind of like how it is, it's grimy. Everybody trying to get an edge.
Yeah.
And the NCAA does a terrible job in investigating anything. I mean, I don't think they could find a palm in the fingers if it was like if they had a hand right in front of them anyway. So this is something that will just go to pasture eventually. I don't think Harbaugh will like just run off and join an NFL team that nobody wants, right? How many teams were really wanting to get this guy to sign him anyways? Like, if they really wanted him and he really wanted to go there, he would have been in the league back in the league 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So
what do you think about the angle of the way he handled that other situation where he got suspended 3 games? Do you think some big cahoots in NCAA's taking it personal and wanting to take another shot at him because they don't really like his attitude or whatever?
I think all those guys who are part of that NCAA like upper tier of administration are upset and angry that no matter how much things change, the Big Ten still has Michigan and Ohio State like top in the top ranking. Like, you know, like they try to make so much. They try to do so many changes and do so much that the parity is just so ridiculous in the Power Five. It's always the top 3 Power 5 teams, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, it's
somewhat. Yeah.
And then after that, it's like everybody else, right? It's like the top 25 teams. If you're in the top 25 teams and there's an investigation, the likelihood of you getting in trouble for it won't happen to the next season, or it won't happen at all. Can we say that? Can we say that's true, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And Chad makes a good point. It does seem kind of like that. I know that Urban Meyer took a shot at him the other day because they had played. And you know what? Urban Meyer's got a good point. Them and Georgia didn't play anybody for the first month of the season. You know, that's the only issue with college football. It's not like the NFL. Look at the Eagles. They got a rough schedule now because they made the Super Bowl, you know?
I mean, look, at the end of the day, all these guys on the big wigs, they know what's going on. Eventually they've heard it or they hear whispers about it. And if these guys weren't bringing in the money and weren't bringing in, you know, that kind of clout, then they would have been gone already. So, you know, if the NCAA would have wanted to do something, they would have just suspended him right off the bat because he just came off a suspension. How about
that? That's where I am suspicious.
Right? How about that?
Paul Fonbon's saying, I can't totally dismiss the issue of how ironic that you come back after a guy after something like this happens, and something like stealing signs. I mean, that's been happening in baseball forever.
I mean, it's just something for them to talk about and try to get away from the fact that they're forming this huge super conference / you know, conglomerate in college football. So if you're gonna suspend the guy, suspend him and kick him out of NCAA, just do it. Right? You're the head of the NCAA, just do it. If not, just, you know, let it go and, you know, let it be. So I mean, that's the way I see it. I don't think what is the investigation for? Like, what are you trying to get at? Because at the end of the day, even if it's one of his own people, then 2 people will be suspended, not just Harbaugh, right?
Yeah, that's true. And as far as the NFL thing, man, I talked about that the other day. The Bears could potentially have 2 top 5 picks. Right now, they got the first and second overall pick. They got 90-something million in cap space. And, you know, he's got so much input, so much knowledge of the college game and players like Pete Carroll did, you know, when he first came up. And Colin Cowherd mentioned, hey, listen, you know, things started going south and with Pete Carroll. Then he went up to Seattle just in the nick of time. He had some haters or whatever at USC. And I thought, well, heck, he played 6 years for the Bears. You know, if he could get one of these big-time quarterbacks, you know, maybe he wants to spend 5 years up in Chicago. I kind of hope he beats it and stays in college, but yeah, who knows, man?
Well, Rob, how long did it take Carroll to get to the Super Bowl after he moved?
Carroll, it took a few years till they got Wilson, you know. Yeah, you say 5 years. I don't remember. I have to go back and check. It wasn't the first year, I'll tell you that.
No, it was a few years, and they went to the playoffs. They had plenty of opportunities to go to the playoffs because, you know, but the Super Bowl wise, and you know, I don't know. Do you want to play that game? My idea about
they're close to the same age now. I mean, Carroll's in the 70s, but he was about 59 when he went to Seattle.
If you're ownership, you're just shooting for the stars. Like the NFL draft is like, it's like going to a club trying to find a wife. Like you're gonna see a bunch of hot chicks, You're gonna see everybody going for him, and at the end of the
Okay,
day,
occasionally every now and then you may find a wife. You may find a Andrew Luck.
and I'm not gonna say anything bad about people who find a wife at the club. I'm you should try a grocery store before you try the club, like, because at least you know the lady's looking to buy some food to cook, right? So,
yeah,
I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah, I hear you, brother. I hear you. Just food for thought. That's an ongoing story. Okay, let's recap last week here. Let's see. Let's start. You know what? We'll start off with the college game. We'll work our way up to the pro game. USC and Notre Dame. I mean, God, what? USC was really pressing in that game. You could tell that Williams, he realizes, Caleb Williams, this defense is not going to do it for me. I'm going to have to press right off the bat. And, man, three interceptions. Man, that thing was a wrap midway through the first quarter, in my opinion. I sent you the text.
Yeah, you're like, this game, and I was like, maybe they'll come back. Maybe they'll come back. I didn't text you that, but I was thinking that. I was like, maybe they'll come back. Maybe they'll come back. Nah, man, that wasn't going to happen at all. So, I mean, I don't know, man. This college football, it was a good, like, awakening for USC, right?
Yeah.
Does this ruin his chances of becoming the Heisman again?
Probably.
Do you think it would have been a situation where he could have doubled again on getting the Heisman?
I just don't see. I just didn't. It's very hard to win it twice. Right. You know.
Right. So I think he just kind of started figuring that out. As much as people were talking about Washington's quarterback and talking about
Penix is just he's overwhelmingly the favorite now.
They're talking about Washington State having a quarterback, and then he hears it in his own conference. I think he just kind of like zoned out and was like, I'm not going to win Heisman.
Yeah.
And what he turned around and do? He got himself an NIL deal. And what else?
Penix?
No, Caleb Williams.
Oh yeah. Well, he's got 3 national commercials now.
Right. And then he turned around and he started this stuff about, well, if I'm going to go to a team, they better give me some ownership stock. So I was like,
yeah, it's like, dude, come down to reality. You can't do that if you get drafted.
So, he's past the whole idea of like, the season as far as him winning the Heisman. So this is just, for now, I think it's just USC starting to go down the hill, right? Because they play Utah this week.
Yeah, they'll probably get Utah. Here's my thing, and I think we talked about it before. Lincoln Riley's defenses. I said it was a lateral move. His teams have bad tackling problems going back to Oklahoma. He's good with quarterbacks. If you get a good coordinator in the NFL, maybe,
Yeah, to a point, but how Lincoln Riley ain't playing the game, man? How's tackling a problem that is his fault?
Well, he's got to get the proper coaches in there. Maybe he's too much on recruit and not actual coaching. Chad, yes, Jim Harbaugh did coach the 49ers for the record. He's asking to coach. They went to the Super Bowl, actually, Chad, back in 2012.
Yeah, I'm just saying, okay. So he does a poor job in finding a defensive coordinator or defense people because that's not his thing. Ain't defense. His thing has never been defense.
Yeah.
So,
but they don't want just to have a Heisman Trophy guy. They want guys that can help them win national championships.
Man, look.
Are you a Lincoln Riley supporter?
No, I'm just like a realist and saying that no matter what team he's ever going to go on, I'm sure there's going to be guys there that are going to miss tackles.
No, I think his teams have the same kind of issue. They don't play great D. You got to get stops. You still have to get some stops.
I think the reality and the realist is like you're on the defensive, part of the team, right? And you're like, well, we gonna score 27, 32 points anyway, so we don't have to go all out. We just got to make sure that we don't give up the big plays. That's a mentality that Lincoln Riley could change on his team playing defense. That's something coaching he could do. But he can't go out there and just run and hit people. And so if he would see that his teams were not doing good defensively in the past, he could go and try to do something now about his defense playing better and changing the mentality of these kids. So,
well,
so
you got the money like he's been surrounded with for the Oklahoma's bank account or USC. He could go out and find, assistant coaches, and he can raise the salary and go out and do it. I mean, he's just a guy. He's just a quarterback whisperer to me. Essentially, what I'm saying.
And at the end of the day, he lacks getting these kind of defensive-minded coaches that want to outscore his offense. Like, I remember back in the day, Miami, even like in the ACC, Georgia Tech, like you can name like a lot of them, Texas. They had defenses, Oklahoma, that wanted to outscore their own offense. Like it was like that was the mentality and that was a culture, man. Like we're gonna win this game this week, and they're like, no, we're gonna the defense is gonna outscore you, and you saw it on the field, and it was fun. But you don't have the kids doing that now with all these guys throwing the ball and airing out, all these.
Well, the Big 12, they haven't played good defense there in a minute. But, the guy that replaced him, now his name's slipping my mind. He was a Clemson coach. They're actually playing pretty decent, with Oklahoma there. We still got a lot of football left. It's not even November. But that was a big win over Texas. Man, like we said, Oregon, Washington really played up to it. Talked about the other day. I recorded that game, watched some of it last Saturday, watched the rest of it this past week. Man, that was more exciting than these NFL games.
Bo Nix is Bo Nix an NFL quarterback?
And Penix is. I'll tell you what, man. Penix may mess around, be the number one pick. He keeps playing like that.
Who would you rather pick, Penix or
who?
Bo Nix.
Bo Nix. Oh, yeah, that's not even without a question. I mean,
who would you pick?
I'm not a Bo Nix guy. I think he's a game manager. He's kind of like Andy Dalton in the NFL. He's not going to be that good. I mean, he's just not a strong arm, nothing dynamic. This guy, Penix, has got that quick release. I like to have him over anybody those Titans got at quarterback right now.
Do you think that if Oregon would have had a Penix type of quarterback, they would have won that game?
Possibly. But you know what else? They've got three wide receivers that are NFL quality players. One's going to be a first round pick.
Yeah, which is why I'm asking you that, right?
Yeah.
That's why I threw that question at you, because if Bo Nix was not on the team, which everybody's like, oh, he's a Heisman candidate this year. But if it wasn't on this team and they had somebody who could rifle that cannon, rifle the ball like a cannon, they would have won that game.
Well, Bo Nix, I'll tell you what, that guy Lanning, that Oregon coach, he's got some Brandon Staley in him, not kicking field goals, going for two early.
Is he from that
probably too much into analytics. He's a little ahead of himself. He's about our age, and he's still learning the head coaching game, in my opinion.
What I like is that Washington, no matter how much time was left, they weren't clock managing. They were like, let's get the ball first, right? They took the ball and just pressed and pressed and pressed. But they play like that anyway. They didn't have to overthink the situation.
Yeah.
That's how they play. Right? Other teams are going to struggle because that's not their mentality and that's not their game. Oregon, as soon as they scored 30 points,
yeah,
they was like, no, they go over the gas pedal. And that's on them because they don't got the mentality to finish the game. Right? Remember, Colorado came back up at them. They beat Colorado, but they let Colorado back in the game.
Who did?
I mean, not Oregon, but not Colorado, but the other team. Who they played last week, the week before last?
Oh, I can't remember. Was it Oregon State?
Yeah. Well, I can't remember.
I had to go back and look at their schedule.
They just
they beat Colorado 42-6.
Yeah, not Colorado. I'm sorry. I was thinking of something else, but they let that team back in the game, so it wasn't. I don't know.
Oh, wow. Houston, not to interrupt you, Houston's came back on Texas. 5-4 in the bottom of the ninth.
Yeah.
Do you think they can beat that Philly team again?
The Astros?
Yeah. I know Verlander's got some. Not to hit you with that curveball, man. I was looking for something else, and that popped up on my screen.
I think that the Houston Astros do better, and it's proven they do better away than they do at home.
Okay.
But if they get into the World Series, they would do better. They could take it because
I love to see them beat Philly again. I mean, we gotta keep Jamie somewhat humble. He's too far out of control.
The Phillies,
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. That's crazy, man. I thought that game was over.
The thing with Philly is they're strapped for pitchers and they're just trying to bring some people back and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to help them or hurt them, right? So we'll see. Yeah. We'll see what happens in baseball.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. I tell you. Oregon. They play Washington State this week, and Oregon's still got a gauntlet, man. Stanford 42-6. I mean, you're talking about Texas Tech. Yeah, Texas Tech almost beat Oregon. It was 38-30. That was a few weeks ago.
Yeah, they should have just kept on keeping on. I mean, I don't get some of these teams, man. I want to see college football teams that score and that are scoring people break some necks, man. Like, I'm tired of seeing these teams just like sitting down and be like, okay, so because they don't even play like they're not playing like the whole roster anyways. They keep the guys out there just to get all those types of stats so that they can look good for when they go to the draft. So I mean, whatever. That's something else. That's the discussion for another day.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, NFL. What was your deal? What's your
my deal?
By the way, Dallas. Me and you had Dallas beating Dallas. You had Dallas beating that Charger team, and Jason McIntyre and Colin Cowherd both had the Chargers.
Are we better than them now?
so the Sports Scope is better than the Herd. That's +1 for us. Spike the ball. We're better than they are. We got the nerve to think we're better than Big.
Well, you
throw a little Nas out there, Corey.
I sat here and said that Dak Prescott was not playing to his potential, and he went out there and threw a few balls out there like he was freaking, like he played in when he first got into the league. So
he had some good rushing yards in that game too.
Yeah, so he had that rushing touchdown. So he played like he's supposed to play, like a type 1, top 10 quarterback. So that was good for the Cowboys. On the other end, but then you look and you say, well, what happened to that defense that was supposed to be good for LA? Like, now Mac had one sack, and then all of a sudden he was like, all right, I did my job. I got my sack for the game.
Who? Matt Parsons?
Mac.
Who's Mac?
Khalil
Mack.
Khalil Mack, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He had that one sack,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he was like, all right, I made my day, right? So, and then Bosa was like, they had 2-3 guys on him sometimes. He was huffing and puffing, and it wasn't even the beginning of the third quarter when we went to the sideline. So I mean, all the top defensive players for the Chargers were like on the bottom end of the stat sheet this past game.
Yeah.
If you look at like all what they gave into this game, which is not good. Usually you want it the other way around, right? So
right.
And then
so much star power, and they just can't put it together,
And we talked and we mentioned that the two coaches know each other anyways.
Yes.
Right. So it wasn't something new. It's just the different players playing the same things, and the defensive coach got the better half of Kellen Moore, man. And I mentioned that they could tie this game, and then if they did tie the game, Dallas would win it.
Well, you was close there.
Oh man,
3-point game.
I was licking my chops like, "Ooh, you gonna happen?" It didn't. But I still picked Dallas to win. So
yeah. So we picked Dallas here.
What'd you see in this game? What'd you see in this game?
I think I had it 21-7. I mean, I was very close to having it almost perfect that particular game. I mean, I like the way Tony Pollard played. That game plan was exactly how I framed it. Dak needs to run more, and you got to get the ball in the flat to Tony Pollard if you can't run it. Pollard, huge swing pass. He had 80 yards receiving that game, most of it on one play there. That's what that team is. Then when you stuck them in, you get 1-on-1. And I'm only one of the only few people. A lot of people was giving up on CeeDee Lamb. I was not one of those people. 100 yards for him. That's how you got to play. Keep everything short. Get your man coverage, but don't get pass happy. And I tell you, I've so far been proven right. Mike McCarthy calling the plays. That was a great move, letting him call the plays and moving off of Keelan Moore as the offensive coordinator, in my opinion. Not saying Dallas is perfect. They still got a ways to go. But if they keep that offensive line healthy, they can beat anybody in this league not named San Francisco. That's including the Eagles. On the right game plan, they can beat this Eagles team.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Eagles.
And the Eagles, I didn't put it in there. Quick take. What's your thoughts about the Jets beating the Eagles?
Yeah.
They got the kids, huh?
Yeah, my little one. She just
man, you won the championship. Now you got the kids on the little press conference thing.
I'm not.
Thank God, and I got my little kids here. You know.
What you got to say about this game? What do you think? You think Daddy's always right?
Yeah.
But for sure, like I think that the Jets defense kept them in the game.
Yeah.
And I was surprised that the Eagles went away from doing everything that they usually do to all the other teams, right?
Yeah.
Because they didn't run the ball as much as they should have.
They didn't. They got pass happy.
They got pass happy, and they've lost a few players, in injury. So the Jets took advantage of that.
Yeah.
But I'm not here and jumping on the bandwagon with the Jets in the New York media saying that they could still make it to the Super Bowl if they got a quarterback, because the Eagles this is a Sirianni thing, right? They play 2 good games and they play 1 bad game. And
yeah, do you think that my deal there that our theory, whatever, Aaron Rodgers has inspired these players. He's already out of his crutches. He's throwing the ball around.
Man, I think he's inspired fans who bought that Rodgers jersey and spent Jets ticket money. Like he's inspired them. Player wise, I think they know who Aaron Rodgers is and they want to play. They want to make sure that he gets a chance to play this year. Yeah. But in all retrospect, in reality, like you gotta. Next man up, and you guys got to look forward. Like, if somebody comes back, great. If they don't,
there's not an ounce of quit in this Jets team, man. I mean,
yeah, but
usually when you get that many injuries, you start to see teams kind of mail it in, and they're not.
No, I mean, they're young.
All of that credit,
Right, they're young and they're competitive. And that's what you get when you have a young team that you can
hungry.
That's hungry, but that again. Young, competitive, don't always make you, the best team in the league, right? So,
yeah.
We got to look. The Detroit Lions took 3 years to get to a point where they're at now, and I still don't think they'll be able to finish games. So,
yeah, they're working their way into it. Let's finish up last week. Well, Tennessee, Baltimore was both wrong on that one. That was a freaking clunker out of Tennessee.
Well, I was just hoping that the fact that they didn't play at home would help them. It helped Baltimore more than it helped the Titans.
Yeah,
actually. And what do you like? Can you just pack Tannehill away and make him just go away? Like it doesn't matter how much you paid him, just drop the guy off the roster, man. Seriously, like he's not there mentally. He's definitely physically. He was, now he's not going to be able to do anything. And it's not like he's inspiring the younger guys who are backing him up anyway. So, and I feel for the coaching staff there because they have a little bit of balance. They're moving in a couple younger players, but they're in a division right now that it's for the taking. So
it's still for the taking. Yeah.
Yeah. So
even though they're last at 2 and 4.
But my thing is this: do you go for a Russell Wilson?
No. I remember I told you it would probably be a good idea at the very beginning, before free agents started, looking at the cap situation, just go ahead and cut.
Why you always talk about money if money doesn't matter to these people who got it? You talk about it like it's your
because it's a cap season and you want to build up that line. I told you that line's terrible, man.
Yeah, but didn't that guy in LA just start picking up players like he was at a flower shop picking up the best roses?
Who?
Huh?
Rams?
Yeah, the Rams owner. What's his name?
Yeah, I mean, you talking about Les Snead, the general manager?
No, I'm talking about the owner.
Oh, yeah.
And he says it too. He's like, we'll worry about it when it comes up, you know. And he had the NFL pay. He had the NFL pay that transfer fee that they did when they moved from.
Well, that's all right. Well, if you disagree with that, I'm just saying sometimes you got to know when to cut. Yeah, it's better to get rid of a player a year early than a year late.
Well, I told you.
I like players. I don't love players.
Right. But I told you, remember that O lineman that left, that Tennessee left, he ended up getting hurt and he's out for the season.
Conklin, yeah,
right. So
from Cleveland, yeah.
So they do okay. I don't think they're gonna get rid of Henry. People are talking about he's on the trading block. I think they're better off getting someone like Russell Wilson and trying to go for the gusto. Because
man,
I'm
glad you don't run my team, man. Whew, golly.
Hey, listen,
you run him in the ground.
You got to make a splash, and you got to let Russell Wilson do his thing, man. And I think he's just butting heads up there in Denver, and they're making him. He's not making himself look any better, but they don't help him either. So
okay. Well,
you got a wide receiver, man. You got one of the best wide receivers in the last 3 years.
He's on the trading block, Hopkins.
Yeah, don't you want to get him the ball?
Well. It's not over for Tennessee.
No, it's
not over. They're coming off a bye week. The schedule gets easier. Schedule gets a lot easier. They can still win this division. But
I would do it in a heartbeat, man.
But if on that being said, if I got some big bunch of offers for Hopkins or Henry, and you started talking second round pick, first round pick, I would listen. Seriously, I would definitely listen.
Look,
I don't think that I had them at like 8, 9, 9, and 8. You had them winning the Super Bowl.
I got them in the Super Bowl with the Eagles.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That would set the. Okay. Now I've cut your lead down to 3. Cincinnati beat Seattle. What's your thoughts on that game? I told you Geno Smith will go back to being Geno Smith,
Joe, what the in the last 2 minutes of the game, he just kind of sitting there like, what am I gonna do? You got all the talent around you.
He does got a lot of talent around him.
And he just like, as much as he got talent around him, I'll tell you what, I saw Metcalf play, and I don't think Metcalf is right. I think he's got some kind of injury, or he got some kind of strain or something, because he wasn't running through people. He was barely blocking. He was barely doing all the small things that fantasy owners hate, because he's not gaining yard. But the team loves him for even running back to get an interception. Like, he was like moseying around, and I'm like, this guy's not right. I don't know if he's upset. I don't know if he got an injury, but
he may be upset. You never know. With Metcalf, man.
So
I think they'll bounce back.
Yeah, I just want to see him play out. Like, he was one of those dogs, right? Like, he was doing everything and anything during the game, and it was like, it's good to watch him play. But last week it was like, I don't know. He got a couple of catches here and there. He got a few catches. Seattle needs like a running back, a type 1 running back, not like two backup running backs. And and I say that respectfully, because I know they should also have one or two more guys on that line. I
like their running back. Their left tackle, he played, but he's banged up.
Yeah, he's banged up.
Yeah, he was a late They finally said he was active at like the last minute.
Yeah,
Charles Cross, and that's a big deal, man.
Yeah. So like I said, they need one.
That makes Geno Smith a little bit gun shy back there. He's not the fastest guy in the world.
I think he just had a jet.
That was a close game, though. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, still tight. They could have won it at the end.
They should have won it at the end. Now he had just had a jet moment and just, saw. I don't know if he just saw MetLife Stadium or he saw the lights and thought he'd seen Jet Green or something, but he blew it. And I was hoping that he would, get over that,
And I was hoping it wouldn't. I was like, I've got to cut into this league, man. He's going to get the big head with those contrarian picks.
Saying that with Seattle not winning that game, Cincinnati, come on, man.
Yeah.
And
Chad says he went down with you to Seattle.
Oh,
well, that's why they pay me the big bucks, Chad, or they will one of these days.
Chad, man, I appreciate your support a lot. But I'm not a betting man.
Well, you're still ahead. You're still ahead. So
I'm not a betting man, but I like Robert says, I call him like I see him, and I was
balls and strikes, huh?
I was seeing Seattle like on the up, and listen, their defense did play well. Yeah. They got a lot of young guys there, but at the end of the day, it wasn't their defense that gave up that game.
Do you think that they'll try to draft another quarterback?
Who, Seattle?
Yeah. They've only got him for like 2 years, Gino.
I think that they're more likely to get a running back and O-line before they get another quarterback.
Okay.
And I say that because as much as Geno Smith is like as old as he is, he hasn't played much. Most of the teams he was on, he was back up anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you, dude. I hear you. Well, let's move on to this.
How old is he?
He's like 33 or something.
Right. Actually, he's like 27 because he hasn't played. Like,
who, Gino?
Yeah.
Oh,
football playing age. He hasn't been on the field, man. He's been back.
He's up there, man. He ain't no 27.
No, I'm talking about his football age.
Oh, because he ain't been hit that much.
Yeah, he hadn't been on the field. For the Jets, he didn't play much on the field.
33 on the money. Yep.
For the Giants, he didn't touch the field, maybe twice. Where else did he back up? Didn't he play in Dallas for a week?
I think he went to the Giants, and then the Jets drafted him.
Yeah, the Jets. I know the Jets drafted. He got his face smacked up.
Yeah, I know. And that guy that did it, I mean, Rex Ryan was coaching Buffalo. He liked that and took him at Buffalo. Oh man. Okay.
I think Geno Smith has at least 3 to 5 more years, depending on if his O-line will protect it.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. It's always how you finish. I think I had him in the playoffs, man. They've got. I like that cornerback they brought in. I actually like that running back they had that they've got. He scored the only touchdown, I think, in that game, coming off a bye week. They'll rebound, but Geno has a tendency, kind of like that game and the Kansas City Chiefs game last year, where he looks like the guy. Kenneth Walker. Yeah, he kind of looks like the guy that the Jets got rid of.
Maybe he closed his eyes, opened his eyes, and just saw green, and it was like, "Oh Lord!"
Yeah, he's hot and cold.
You said it. You said it. You mentioned it. I give you props for that.
Oh yeah. That's Geno for you, man. He's
Mr. Hyde.
He's kind of like the guy that played for 1,000 teams. What's that guy's name with the beard?
Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Fitzmagic.
Ron Fitzmagic. Sometimes you see him, sometimes you don't.
He plays for the Titans too, man.
We play for every team in the league. He's the journeyman. Okay, let's talk about this week, Chief. Tampa, Atlanta. Now, this game's going to be played at Tampa. The winner be in first place. I mean, it's an important game. It might not be the best game to see, but Tampa coming off that loss, Atlanta coming off a loss.
The NFL should ban the NFL South for like this season and not allow any of those teams to be in the playoffs.
The two South. Well, I take that back. I think Trevor Lawrence played pretty well
The AFC South right now is hot.
Texas but the NFC South is really bad.
I mean,
but that is an important game. It's in Tampa, both coming off losses. I think Tampa bounces back and gets this win. They got humiliated by Detroit last week. That was one of my pick-em games against the spread. Picked Detroit minus the points, and Detroit looked great, 20-6 win. But I think they come back. You know, I think they'll bounce back, get their running game going. They're going to find some good matchups. That's going to be a tight game, but it feels like maybe 2017 Tampa is what I like in that game. And they'll be in first place Monday. They won't stay there, but they'll be in first place Monday. And I think the Saints will eventually get it back together and get back in the driver's seat in the weeks to come.
I mean, they only score field goals, right?
Yeah. By the way, and Ritter, he can't win on the road. You know, there could be a quarterback change in Atlanta too. They may go with Holcomb at some point, or Heineke, excuse me, Kelly Holcomb. I think that's a guy who used to play for the Titans. Taylor Heineke, excuse me.
Holcomb played for the Cleveland Browns too.
Yeah, he bounced around. Another one of these badquarterbacks.com, you know.
Look, man, can we stay away from this pick? Because any team can win this. Like, it's a toss. I'd say it's a toss-up.
All right. Well, man, you got to pick one. I mean, golly, it's an important game, man. It's for the division lead. You don't want that to go against your record.
Are you an undercover Tampa Buck fan?
No, man. I mean, not really a Todd Bowles guy. I like it when they had Brady.
Undercover brother.
You could go with me and pick Tampa too. You picked them to do something.
They are my dark horse.
There you go.
I did pick them. I thought that
Atlanta's got a lot of talent too. Maybe Atlanta gets off the schneid too, man.
I thought that this guy would come through and be like and play his heart out because he doesn't want to be a backup in the NFL, Baker Mayfield. So, but he didn't play last week, right?
Who?
Baker.
Yeah, he played last week. He didn't play well. He played. Maybe he's saying he was there, but he wasn't there. I hear you.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, man.
I mean, they're going to get executed. I mean, you got a 3-game lead.
You see, they're going to get executed.
Yeah, act like somebody's going to be, you know.
All right, here we go. How about this?
It's a divisional round game.
I hope this comes true, but Baker Mayfield will, you know, he'll bring some stats up against his defense, right?
Yeah.
They'll be able to run the ball again.
They still got Evans. Rashard White's a pretty good running back. Yeah.
So Rashard gets close to 80 yards. Baker will get about 300 to 400 yards passing, and it's going to be one of those like 14-6.
Yeah.
14-7.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to go over.
What's the spread
points between two teams?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're taking Tampa?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you, dude. Now Baltimore, Detroit's a really good game. Now, you know, Detroit's 5-1. They beat Kansas City this year. Pro Football Focus has Detroit as the best offensive line in the NFL. This year, up to today, actually, like I've already picked this game. I actually like Detroit not only to get that within that 3, to actually flat out get that win against Baltimore. They had Baltimore beat 2 years ago, a bag no call in Detroit. Justin Tucker, I don't know if you remember that, kicks a 60-something yard field, like 61-yard field goal, bounces on the little crossbar.
Yeah,
it bounces in. Such dumb luck. But I actually like Detroit on the road.
They still got the same kicker, Robert. Why is it? What's changed about Detroit? That they beaten up in their own division? What do you like about Detroit? What comes out to you and says
they had the best line in football?
Oh my God!
They have a great pass rush.
They have a great pass rush.
They've cleaned up their defense.
Is Hockenson?
You know what? I think they're pretty. They're one of the best run defenses in the league too.
Is Hockenson MVP for this league?
No, man.
Whoa.
Goff is playing at a high level, man.
Come on. So you would say that Hawkinson is not an MVP, and you want to give props to Jared Goff?
Well, the MVP of the team? That's a good question. I don't know if they got one, man. There's a lot of guys that's playing together.
They're balanced. They're a well-balanced team. They're in a crap division, so they don't get no competition the whole season in their division. They're going to be in the playoffs, maybe, and they'll lose the first round because they haven't gotten any competition before they got there.
Yeah. Third in offense. Let me see where they're at in defense.
They're probably in the top 5.
Let's see. I thought they were really good against the run. Yeah. Number 1 rush defense in the league. They're first in points. They drafted all those defensive players in the draft. I told you they could get better.
It's still the Detroit Lions, man.
Yeah. Hey, pick Baltimore. I need to cut in that 3-game lead, man.
Robert, if I pick Baltimore and they win, you're gonna be so unhappy.
I know, because Baltimore keeps beating me every year. They keep beating me, man.
And then you always have this thing against, and you don't know it, but Lamar Jackson, like, oh, he can't throw and all this and all that.
Yeah, I saw some of that. He did have a good game against Tennessee. He's working hard. He has improved.
He's always been able to throw the ball. You just don't. They don't give him enough talent around him
he just has an awkward motion, and he has an awkward release.
Because he's running from the people who are trying to get his head off, man.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna pick Baltimore. This is gonna be a close one, guys. This is gonna be a close one.
Yeah, Colin Cowherd picked Baltimore too. So
I'm gonna tell you why. This is gonna be 27-24. Justin Tucker will get the last kick and beat them enough.
Justin Tucker, that mother, I'm saying.
I
try to keep it a family show.
Well, yeah, you know, and if
like Tupac would say.
Here's the thing: even if Detroit wins this game, I still think they'll be in the playoffs. But I still don't think that I don't think that this will help them build for being a playoff team. Like this one, I don't think it's one of those games, right? So yeah, that's just me though. That I'm just everybody like, oh, it's football, this and that. But I think
it'll be a great game. This is gonna be one of the better games of the week, man.
I think so, but like again, whoever wins this will be dumb luck. It's gonna be so close.
24-20 Lions. You're saying 24-21 Ravens?
No, I'm saying 27-24.
Ravens
win, yeah.
Okay, good. All righty then.
Write it down. Usually you write these things down.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's recorded, man.
You're going to be so mad. You're going to be so mad. You're going to be so mad on Monday morning like that.
Man, I'm going to be hotter than a $4. No, I'll be mad. I'm going to be mad Monday morning. I'll be mad about 4 o'clock Eastern when the game's over with. All righty then. Hey, Philadelphia, Miami. You know what? I've been back and forth on this game.
Why?
But then I found out that Jalen Carter's going to be back for Philadelphia. Lane Johnson's going to be back for Philadelphia. Darius Slay, their cornerback, will be back. So Miami really hasn't beat anybody.
No, Julio's going to be back in the jersey. Your boy.
And Julio will be their 5th receiver for the Eagles. But, it's pretty interesting. Jalen Hurts versus Tua, the two guys that played on college together. But I like the Eagles to win at home Sunday night. And I don't know, 27-22 Eagles.
Well, the Eagles got to figure it out. If they're going to run the ball, do an aerial attack. And if they're going to do an aerial attack, they give the Dolphins back the ball back quicker. That's going to bite them in the butt. So they can't figure out this Swift Granwell situation. They're gonna be hot mess. So Jalen Hurts, Granwell, Swift, they got to figure out that running game. Sirianni got to understand and make the better calls for this team on offense. I give advantage to the Dolphins right now. They can score fast. The Eagles they need more time and possession to score. And this is gonna be close, man. I think it's gonna be like another 27-21.
Dolphins?
Dolphins.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what. That secondary, I mean, if Tua can get the ball off, I do think that Tyreek Hill has the potential. What are those 200-yard days? So what you're saying could be the weather's pretty good that would favor Miami. That could wind up that way. He gets rid of the ball quickly. He throws underneath a lot of stuff. So that's a possibility.
The Jets just wrote a book about how to contain and how to beat this team. So you don't.
But I think you're right, though. I think he was forcing a lot, and hopefully, we talked about this. We might have talked. I talked about it with Jamie. There may be an issue there with AJ Brown and Hurts. I talked about it with Jamie Pags, the Philly guy.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, he was complaining about not getting the ball in the Giants blowout game, like a playoff game. And I said, listen, that's a sign of Stephon Diggs stuff right there. You got to monitor a situation like that. These receivers, they get a little heady at times, and y'all owe him a big bunch of money in 25 or 24. Maybe you should trade him after next year. He's like, oh, we'll figure it out. You know how Jamie is. I said, I don't know. I'd rather be a day ahead than the day behind.
So you jumping on that line. I said that they're not, as much as they're making and winning, they're not balanced yet because they don't know who their number one is, right?
Brown's been playing great. The reason why I picked Philadelphia is I think with DeAndre Swift and that big offensive line, I think it's kind of going to be like the Rams game, where they're just going to run the ball, just time of possession. It's going to be in Philadelphia. They're coming off a loss. They got a lot of key players back. And, dude, I really like that Jalen Carter over the middle, man. Plus, they got a new center for Miami. So
I don't even think that a lot of people understand that the Dolphins' defense is actually pretty decent. So
you think so?
For that, they'll give up some points, but their offense scores a lot too. And so for that, I give the vantage point to the Dolphins. To be honest.
Okay. Well, you picked the Dolphins. I picked the Eagles. That's going to be a great game. That will be a good one. Okay. I think we got some more disagreements coming, brother. Trust me. Let me get to the other games here. Let's see. So we got Philly. We got Baltimore. We got Tampa. All right. Penn State, Ohio State. I cannot wait. 12 o'clock Eastern Saturday. I love these early games, dude. I usually blow my energy out after these early games. Eat a bunch of junk food, make some lasagna, and in time 2:30 Central, 3:30 Eastern, I have to catch my second win, man. I have to catch my second win.
You carb loading like you keto or something, bro.
Man, what you said, right? It's pretty funny. Listen.
Come on, man. Lay low. Get on some of that salsa water for 2 quarters, man.
I'm telling you, dude. I got a different analysis. A lot of the national, by the way, 5-point favorite. Are they 5.5-point favorites over Penn State?
5.5.
Yeah. Okay. So Ohio State, by the way, 1996. This was a great matchup. Eddie George, Titan fans. He played for Ohio State. Yeah. Penn State's always had really good linebackers. Joe Paterno. I mean, this feels like an old throwback 1990s grudge match type of game, man. But this guy, Allor and McCord is the quarterback for Ohio State, okay? You hear Joe Klatt, the Fox people, he says, this McCord, he's outplayed Allor. He's outplayed Allor from Penn State. So I went back and looked at the box scores. McCord has more passing yards. Yes. Got the best receiver in the country, Marvin Harrison Jr. Check. But this guy, Allor, 12 touchdowns, 0 interception. He actually has a better touchdown to interception ratio. He actually has a slightly better completion percentage. I'm talking about Allor here for Penn State, and he's a better rushing quarterback. He's a more of a mobile quarterback than McCord of Ohio State. Penn State's actually got a better defense against the pass and against the run. I thought the Iowa game was a BS game. That's the only loss Iowa has. And Iowa's still ranked in the top 25. I'm going to go out on a limb, man. I'm going to say James Franklin is going to get the road win. Okay? 28-24, Penn State upsets Ohio State. What you think?
I think there's an upset looming in the air. I feel it too.
Wow, I thought you was going to go Ohio State and tear me down.
Well, I've always been partial to Penn State, Nittany Lions. Being in the Northeast and all, and family and friends have been to that school. But besides all that, being partial to them, this team that Penn State has, the biggest problem is that this is probably going to be the biggest game that they're playing right now on schedule.
Yeah.
And I think they got something to prove, man. On Ohio State, they take too much time to get going in a game.
They do, don't they?
And I think that's going to come back and get them. So I feel like the Penn State defense is going to give the opportunity for the offense to score. They might score a touchdown or two. So, but the team that wins this game is a team that possesses the ball last.
Wow. And I really think that could happen that day. I'm actually thinking that Penn State has the lead and Ohio State comes up short. It's like Ohio State's on like the 20-yard line. It's fourth down. Marvin Harrison incomplete. And then James Franklin's running across the field, and there's a lot of boos coming out of the stadium. By the way, this kid, Alar, he's from Ohio. He's from a small town in Ohio, about 115 miles north of Columbus. He's going to have friends and family there, man. And they're both sophomores, too. I could be way off on this, man, but I got a feeling Penn State's going to beat them, dude.
It's going to be like 30, 20, 24, 27, something like that.
And you're saying
Penn State's going to win. If they possess the ball last.
But but you got to live with it, though.
I'm just saying, and I think they will. I think the defense.
I didn't think you'd agree with me on that one.
I just like their defense this year, man.
They're quick, ain't they?
But they hit you hard too. So even if you make a play or two, you feel like you have to score another touchdown because you don't want to get hit anymore. So it's like, they're quick. They hitting people left and right. Now again, this is going to be the biggest team they play besides Iowa this year. But like you said, Iowa's hasn't been right.
They're good, but they're not great.
Right. So
they beat Wisconsin. They beat Illinois down, but they just seem like like you said, they're a step faster this year. Penn State is.
They just need to score.
I can't say the same for Ohio State, even though that was impressive getting that road win at Notre Dame. But Notre Dame has 11 men. Did they get the stop? I mean, geez.
And here's the one thing, and this has never been not true about Franklin. Now, he don't just try to break necks and step on the gas. He wants to make you look bad. Like, so I like that. I know people don't like this cocky attitude or don't like him for the way he is.
He's a winner, man.
He liked it, and he finds ways to win, man. He finds ways to win. So.
The last time he beat them, he was in 2016. They blocked a field goal for a touchdown. Now that was in Penn State. He's never beat them in Ohio State, but they've had They had a 1-point game a few years ago.
That's why I think this year the tables will turn.
They're going to get over the top this year. This is going to be a first.
And even if Penn State beats Ohio State, people don't get it twisted. Don't think that that's going to take them to a national championship.
Well, they still got to play Michigan,
However, it's going to be harder for Ohio State.
Who did Keith like in this game? Ohio State.
Yeah, because he don't like Franklin. I think he does.
He don't, does he?
No.
But we still got to do Tennessee, Alabama, dude.
Yeah, and we got experience because we saw him coach at Vandy and get.
Man, he went down there in Florida with Vanderbilt and won.
Yeah, we saw a few sneak himself.
I think this is his best quarterback at Penn State. I think he's better than Clifford.
Maybe
he's a better athlete than Clifford.
After the bowl game that they get, we'll see. Because
I mean, this guy. All that being said, folks, and I'll own it Monday. Good scope, bad scope. Like Colin, I did take that from Colin too. Colin right, Colin wrong. I'll own it Monday if Penn State goes in there and poops in their pants, just like I owned it when Tennessee pooped in their pants against Baltimore.
I mean,
so UT Vols, man.
Gotta stay away from those, man. I just as partial as them to UT, it's like that they got this whole like Geno Smith. Mine
with Joe Milton. Hey, it was a good win last week. Was that frustrating, by the way? Was that frustrating with all those miscues by Joe Milton?
It was a great game, but the fans, man. Thank you for keeping on the Rocky Top, because I think that was the only thing that could get you like hyped up, because some of those calls, man.
Yeah.
Woo. Some of those.
As I told my guest yesterday, Ken, who's a big Alabama fan, and I said this before, with the right game plan, and not calling deep, maybe 2 or 3 deep shots for the whole game. Think about all the plays Tennessee runs. Not more than 3, because Joe Milton will screw it up. He'll overthrow it every time. If he keeps the right game plan, keeps everything close to the tight end, run himself, give it to that run. What's that guy's name? Squirrel White, or Jalen Wright, or whatever. Those really fast, quick
Yeah, he's quick, man.
quick twitch players. They have a shot to beat, because that other Moreau is not all world himself. They could beat Alabama. I don't think so. It feels like 24-16 Alabama.
Ooh.
But I don't think it's going to be 52-49. I'll tell you that. Because this ain't Hendon Hooker and Bryce Young.
You don't think Tennessee could score more than 7 than
they're about 16. They can with the right game plan. Do not call deep shots for Joe Milton. You got to keep that ball inside. I'm going to watch. I can't wait to see. I think it's going to be a good game, because I think Moreau will keep Tennessee in the game. Tennessee's got a good running game, but it's all going to be about how Heupel handles Joe Milton, and just stay away from the deep ball. He'll turn it over or overthrow it by a country mile. He'll throw it in the stands, man. He's just not accurate, man.
You're in Knoxville and you see the ball in Gatlinburg.
Man, right?
Let me see. Let me just say this, right? Run the ball.
Play field position.
Play the deep. Let your defense play a little bit.
You picking Alabama to win or Tennessee to win?
I think it's going to be a tie.
No, you can't have a tie in college, man. They'll play 17 overtimes. This ain't the NFL.
No, but if they tie, it'll be the best situation for Tennessee.
Yeah. They have, I will say this. I looked up the record. They have 7 ties in the history of the 2 programs, but I've never seen a tie in college football in my life. I've seen Tennessee beat Alabama in about 6 overtimes about 15 years ago. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. I think we was in school then. Yeah. In the early years, dude.
Yeah, I said they'll go to overtime, and
this will go to overtime?
I think so.
Oh, man, I'd be really hyped if
because I think Alabama, they'll press. They don't have a team that can beat you straight out this year. Their team is more methodical, more.
So you're picking Tennessee to win?
An overtime. An overtime.
Okay, so if my guys win, we'll be even next week.
27,
or you might be up 6, man.
27-21. It'll be 21-21, and then.
That's possible. Do you got anything you need to plug, man?
Yeah, man. Fridays we're in the morning at 9:00 now. TGI
9 Eastern.
I don't know if you guys saw me this morning. I was irate about the Giants not being able to score in the 1-yard line twice. But I'm there with Keith. He's a little bit sick, but he'll be coming back strong.
Good.
And I'm trying to see what's up with Tanner on the Sports Buffoons. Usually we try to do a pregame on Thursday.
So when is that show?
It's at 6:00 usually, but
that's Eastern.
Yeah, 6:00.
And where do you find it at?
On the Sports Buffoon with Tanner on that on his network. It's also on Fox Sports.
You put that in YouTube, Sports Buffoons?
Yeah, he's on YouTube. It's on
okay.
YouTube. Yeah. So, but we haven't been on for a couple weeks now. He had a schedule conflict, but you know, I'm all over the place in sports right now. So it's New York, and we're not winning.
Man, I cannot wait to go back and see. I think it was Altuve, guys, for the record, hit a 3-run homer in the bottom of the ninth. Man, is he a big game player or what?
Man,
Houston takes a 3-2 lead.
Small dude with big impact, man.
Yeah, he's like little Ichiro.
Man, he's your height. Why you say, man? You as tall as he is.
Well, I'm not a Major League Baseball player, brother. He's about my height and your height, ain't he?
Yeah, he's not. He looks small because everybody else is like 6'8".
Everybody else is 6'3" and built like Darryl Strawberry or Jason Giambi, right?
Yeah, Ryan.
Well, have a good night, man. I appreciate it. Hey, thank you, Chad, Corey, Pickles, all y'all out there. And hit me up tomorrow. I'm sure you will be. If I take a while to get back to you, you know I'm on delay because I'm recording that thing.
I might even watch Rutgers play. Who knows?
That's a new low for it. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, seriously.
They're pretty good.
Trying to find somebody to win here in New York, man.
Yeah, I hear you, brother. See you, man. Have a good night, everyone.